The Idaho College Murders, Bryan Kohberger. It was supposed to be an ordinary night in a quiet college town. Students went out partying, roommates laughed in the kitchen, and the small city of Moscow slept peacefully. But by morning, that peace would be shattered. 4 college students were brutally murdered inside their own off-campus home, a crime so shocking that it terrified the entire country. And months later, the suspect would turn out to be someone studying the very subject of crime itself. This is the chilling story of the Idaho College murders and the man accused of committing them, Bryan Kohberger. The victims were 4 young students from the University of Idaho: Kaylee Goncalves, Madison Mogan, Zana Kernodle, and Ethan Chapin. They were young, popular, and enjoying the final years of college life. Kaylee and Madison had been best friends since childhood. Zana and Ethan were a couple. None of them knew that their lives would become the center of one of the most disturbing true crime cases in recent American history. On the night of November 12, 2022, everything seemed normal. Kaylee and Madison spent the evening at a local bar before grabbing late-night food. Zana and Ethan had been at a party nearby. By around 2 a.m., all 4 students returned to their off-campus house at 1122 King Road in Moscow. Inside the house were also 2 other roommates who had already gone to sleep. Nothing seemed out of place. But sometime in the early morning hours, a nightmare began. Between approximately 4 a.m. and 4:25 a.m., someone entered the house, armed with a large knife. What happened next was brutal and terrifying. The intruder attacked the students while they slept, leaving 4 of them dead. One roommate later reported hearing strange noises and even seeing a masked man walking past her in the hallway before leaving the house. Yet somehow, the killer vanished into the night. No arrests, no immediate suspect. Just 4 lives lost. Hours later, around noon, the horrifying truth was discovered. Police were called to the house after one of the surviving roommates reported an unconscious person. When officers arrived, they discovered a devastating crime scene. 4 young college students had been stabbed to death. The peaceful college town of Moscow suddenly became the center of a nationwide investigation. Fear spread quickly. Students locked their doors. Parents demanded answers. And the question everyone asked was the same: who could do something like this? The investigation became one of the largest in Idaho's history. The Federal Bureau of Investigation soon joined local police. Detectives worked around the clock. They analyzed surveillance footage, cell phone records, DNA evidence, thousands of tips from the public. For weeks, there were almost no answers. The killer seemed to have disappeared without a trace. But one small piece of evidence would eventually change everything. At the crime scene, investigators found a knife sheath left behind. On that sheath was a tiny trace of DNA. Using genetic analysis and investigative work, authorities eventually linked that DNA to a man named Bryan Kohberger. Kohberger was a criminology PhD student at Washington State University, located just minutes away from Moscow. Even more chilling, he had studied criminal behavior. Police also tracked his car, a white Hyundai Elantra, seen repeatedly driving near the victim's house on the night of the murders. Cell phone data suggested he had been near the area multiple times before. Investigators believed they had finally found their suspect, but the case quickly raised disturbing questions. Why would a criminology student commit such a brutal crime? Some theories suggest he may have been fascinated with how crimes are committed. Others believe he may have been stalking the house or one of the victims beforehand. Some people even speculate he wanted to test his knowledge of criminal investigations, yet many details remain unclear. Did he know the victims personally, or were they chosen at random? To this day, investigators have not publicly confirmed a motive. On December 30th, 2022, authorities arrested Bryan Kohberger at his parents' home in Pennsylvania. He was later extradited to Idaho to face 4 counts of first-degree murder. Kohberger has maintained his innocence. The case has drawn massive attention across the United States, with millions following every update as the legal process continues. The trial is expected to reveal many answers, but for now, the truth is still unfolding. Even with a suspect behind bars, many questions remain. Why that house? Why those victims? And what was going through the mind of a criminology student accused of committing one of the most shocking murders in recent memory? The quiet town of Moscow may never fully forget what happened on King Road. And until every detail is revealed in court, the Idaho College murders remain a chilling mystery that continues to haunt the world of true crime. If you want to see how we uncover the truth behind the world's most viral crimes, hit that subscribe to Midnight Vanish and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss our next deep dive.